What's good? What's good? What's good? YouTube. It is your girl Trisha just checking back in with a message following my live this morning. Um, Again, for anybody who don't know me, I am Latricia. I am a nurse by profession, an advocate for change, and a nonprofit owner who is just pushing the message out here of positivity, of just wanting everyone to know that the obstacles that you face is not the end of your road, but yet the beginning of a roadblock that you are bursting through. And when you are bursting through those roadblocks, yes, chaos will kick up. And yes, there will be things that have to be destabilized in your life in order to be redefined in your life. And when that is happening, I just want to let you know you're going to have to embrace yourself for that impact. So with that being said, go ahead, push the like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to leave a comment. Sometimes it's good just to know how things are resonating with you. And in this season that not only I am embarking on, but I believe as a collective, we are embarking on a new foundation. And with that new foundation comes new responsibility, new caregiving aspects, and a growth mindset that has to now stay at the forefront of who you are. What do I mean? What do I mean? What do I mean? Well, let me tell you, over the last couple of days, impact in my life has been real. And it's been wonderful. And it's been calling for me to stand in my true power of who I am, not only as a nurse, but without title. Meaning it doesn't matter that I'm a nurse. It does not matter that I'm a nonprofit owner. It does not matter that I am a mom, but it is who I am at my core, who I am as a being of who I perceive myself to be. And then in return, project to others. And, a few things that happened was first took on a new client. And for me to take her on, it's drawn out a new level of patience for who I am, because I am dealing with somebody who likes to I'm trying to be kind of non-biased in this moment. But she let me know that as a Black woman, it's kind of a shame we have to take on a lot of jobs, a lot of roles, a lot of this, a lot of that. And when doing so, I don't think she fully understood who I was when she had asked for my services. And then as she had a moment for me to do my intake and talk to her, learn about who she was, she also had a chance to learn that I'm a woman of many statures. And during that time, she had to ask me, well, who am I? Like, who am I working with then? And I had to explain to her how I love God, how I had to seek him diligently after I was broken, not before, which I should have. But as we had a chance to talk and commune about that, she was like, wow, I think it gave her a different value of what she was getting and what she was paying for. Which was nice, because word of mouth, especially when it comes to business, it's really helpful, right? But after all of that was said and done, I end up having a Zoom meeting with my teacher. And she kept telling me about Huldah in the Bible, and she was going over my tests and kind of analyzing, basically from my test, how she can pretty much tell what kind of person I was and the things that kind of matured in me or the things that needed development. And as we were going through my tests, and as she had a chance to break down and talk to me about just different values in life, because I am in a mental health class right now, right? And we were just going through all of this. She gave me a greater perspective in one point where I had to go yesterday and sit and try to kind of figure out who is Huldah and why was she so important, right? But I kind of soaked that in. And then this morning, as I went on my walk, I had a chance to first, as I was just in my rhythm, listening to my gospel, doing my walk, I had looked, some said look up. I looked up, and then here is this um, free flowing four balloon that was gold going across the sky. And I was like, wow. It's like, why am I seeing this? And who let this balloon go? Right. And at that moment, I heard God say, because I'm sending for more. And I was like, whoa. And at the time, I didn't even know what that meant. I was just like, oh, okay, or whatever. I'm soaking up what he said, trying to put revelation to it. But at the time, I really couldn't, besides having that manifestation towards my business, right? And as I was going around this curve on the ground, I just happened to look down, and the ground said, married your mile. Married your mile. And I was like, who will write married your mile? And I kept on walking, y'all. Let me tell you, I kept on walking. And all of a sudden, it had hit me that the journey that I am taking, or the movement that I am pushing, it's so much deeper than who I am and what I wanted to see come from this. Um, that this crazy faith, this walk with Jesus and understanding our Father, is undescribable. It really becomes no words put to his actions. And we be thinking, oh my God, we got this, we know this, we understand. And as I told y'all in any of my other videos, we don't have it. We don't have it. We don't know it. We would love to know everything that he wants to do with us. But I did learn that he does send you signs. I do know that he sends you symbols throughout life to let you know if you are on the right path or not. And as I was gathering my symbols for the morning, I realized that this journey that I just stepped into are big shoes. These are big shoes that I pray that I'm able to float through and stay rooted in him. So with that being said, I want you guys to know that we are embarking on our Huldah season. And for anybody who don't know, Huldah, she was a prophetess, right? And she reigned at the time that Josiah was king. And during this time when Josiah was king, for Huldah, and I believe you can either find this story in Second Chronicles and chapter 34 and about verse 22 or 22, 23 in there, right? 23. And for Huldah, it says, well, let me back up to 22. Okay. Hilgard and those the kings have sent with him went to speak to the prophet Huldah, who was the wife of Shalom, son of Turkin. I'm probably pronouncing his name right, so don't hold it against me. The son of Hashar, keeper of the wardrobe. She lived in Jerusalem in the new quarters. She said to them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel says. Tell the men who sent you to me. This is what the Lord says. I am going to bring disaster on these people and on this place and its people, all the curses written in the book that has been read in the presence of the king of Judea, because they have forsaken me and burned incense and other gods aroused my anger. By all that their hands have made, my anger will be poured out on this place and will not be quenched. Tell the king of Judea, who sent you to inquire of the Lord. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, is saying concerning the words you heard. Because your heart was responsive and you're humbled yourself before God when you heard what he spoke against this place and its people, and because you humbled yourself before me and torn your robe and wept in my presence, I have heard you, declared the Lord. Now I will gather you in your ancestors, and you will be buried in peace. Your eyes will not see all the disaster I am going to bring on this place and on those who live here. So they took her answer back to the king. That was a lot to unpack, right? um, I have wanted you guys to understand Hilda is a very powerful woman. Kind of as I did my research on her and understood. And the reason I'm going to say that is because her voice had to stand out with confidence, with assurance, and she had to also be able to motivate a nation with her confidence. And when you get someone like her who is this powerful, who has this much intelligence, that God wanted to seek her, and I mean, and have people seek her out. That's a powerful move when God is moving you in that way. And she wasn't loud. She wasn't a woman who was chasing titles. She was just a woman who was grounded. And matter of fact, I believe in the new King James version of this story, it says that she was in college. She was in the college. She was in there getting an education. She was learning. She was humbling herself in a whole nother way than what they were calling for her to do at the time. But one of the things I loved about her was that her groundedness is what made her hear God. God says sometimes when you get grounded enough and you drown out enough noise, you can hear him. And anybody who ever been rocking in any of my other videos, I tell you, he has a small, still voice when he wants to talk to you because he has to make sure that you know it's him. So in this season, not only do your truth matter so much, but your compassion for others matter because you're moving a nation. When I started Let's Direct Our Own Path, I was starting Let's Direct Our Own Path as a nonprofit because of all my hurt, all of my pain, that I was like, how do I give back to the others? Not realizing what at the end of the day, what he's calling me to do is a movement. And I was like, whoa, what? Little old me, I was like, why would you come wake up the dead for this? What? And humility goes a long way is what I keep hearing ring in my head. Humility goes a long way. So the power is real. When God wants to move you, the power is real. And the vision that he showed me today was me understanding that a new ground was laid for the foundation, not only business wise, but that I'm standing in, that I'm standing on, and that I am now being able to lift people onto the platform with me. Knowing that it's not cracking, it's not breaking, but that it's a sturdy foundation in this season. And as I was walking and in different sectors of the trail that led me up into making this message today was to let me know that married to the mile means you are married to the journey that you were taking with God. Like y'all became one, y'all locked in. Like he loves the fact that you're locked in with him. So wherever you started in your journey with God, I want you to know that in this season, he said, y'all married, baby. Y'all are married to this journey. Y'all have been locked in, and can nobody come in between that? And he wants you to know that this is a real commitment, not only for you to help others, but for you to stay committed to who he knows you are. For you to know that no matter where you go in this season, he with you. Like you got to ride or die on your team. And that was so beautiful for me to understand in this season. So I want y'all to just know, stay faithful to the road that he has given you. Stay faithful. Um, know that the destination that you are walking in has purpose. Yes, it has purpose, it has meaning, and it does not mean compare your milestones with other people. Not at all. Do not look and be like, oh my God, I started this journey and I wanted to see my results here. That is not what I mean by that at all. What I am saying is that when you are looking at how far you had came in life, I say look back over your life. You know what? Sometimes look back over the week of something maybe you couldn't conquer last week, that this week it feels so easy for you to conquer. Or look back over a past relationship or a past job or anything and just be like, oh my God, at the time I thought I was never going to get over losing that job, or I was never going to get over losing that friend, or I was never going to feel like I could pass this class, any of those things. And then you look and you see that you passed, or you look and you see that you have done well for yourself. Those are those milestones. And today, when I was seeing that balloon floating across the sky, one of the things that it had let me know is that this is a season of elevation. That balloon was floating. It was elevated over me. This is a season where things are elevating you, in the platform that you have, and the people that he is bringing into your path in order to help you, the teammates that you are gathering, the things that he said, this is it. Like when I started this business and I was like, oh, why am I by myself? Like, what are we doing here? And he had to tell me, help, you get your help along the way. And then it was so funny because I was like, I need a website. I need all these different things because I need to let people know like what time it is out here. And as I was talking to him about God, about these things, he said, don't worry about it. And then when I ran into this young lady and I was talking to her, and he had told me, and he just put it on my heart. He said, that's her. And I'm like, what? And so far the things that she's been doing and helping me build, it has been incredible. I mean, when he sends real genuine people along the way who's there, I want you to know that it is meaningful. It is meaningful. And when I seen that gold balloon that was floating in the air, I was like, why gold? And then I had to look up gold to understand that that's royalty. Like that is redefinement. And gold, you can't just melt down or tarnish gold. He's like, this is a sure foundation that it might take us a while with, but he said, he's making sure that your foundation is strong, that it's sturdy, that nothing can destabilize it. And so I want you to know that you are in a season where nobody can destabilize what he's done with you, the work he put into you to get to where you were. I can tell y'all for myself, as I was going through my own transformation process, for anybody who's been rocking with me, y'all know January was a crusher. And I was like, well, God, if you don't take this wheel, we about to go overboard. And he was like, baby. He said, we gonna keep driving. He said, but put that in cruise control and let me have it wheel for a minute until I can get you to change the speed. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes he said, I'm baby, this a whole, we going on a road trip. He was like, cause you didn't spent the wrong block. And yeah, your girl crazy. But I just want y'all to know that we are in a season of harvesting, right? And when you are in a season of harvesting, that means that your crops have grown, that they have produced fruit. Um, and one of the things you have to know is when you produce fruit and you pick it, you got to taste. And one of the things I love is when God says, "Oh, taste and see that I'm good." Just taste. So, in this season, it's like, your blood, your sweat, your tears, the things that you have put your time, your effort into. This is a season where God is saying now He's about to let others taste it and see if it's what He have created. And I don't want you to get discouraged in this season. I don't want you to feel like you got to bag down, bag back, or any of that. And I think this is a season where God is saying, "Do you trust me?" I had told y'all before, He said this trust requires a deeper level of trust that sometimes is beyond your own capacity to understand and learn and understand, learn, and move through because you never seen it before. But He said, if you trust His process and you lean not onto your own understanding, He said He would direct your path. And I'm just hoping that you guys will allow Him to direct your path in this season because it's powerful with His movements. And as I was sitting here just pondering on the day of what He has given me to do, um, and He like, this is the season where you just get to pop your stuff. And it's not that you doing it boastfully, but you will boast unto the Lord. But He's saying it's not for you to dehumanize anyone or to make anyone feel less than who they are, but it is for you to understand that your hard work will pay off. Your hard work, you get to reap that. And he said it. He don't want you just to understand the tears and the agony, but He also wants you to know the joy. The joy does come in the morning as you keep your lights on. He said you will reach this point where you get joy, where you are happy about what you're producing, and that all of that them long hours, the suffering, all of these things that you go through in life, it does come back with real meaning. And He said, in those meanings, no one can take. And that's why He wants us to understand why spiritually grounded matters. Being spiritually grounded really does matter. That's why He say, "Be still and know that I am God." That's why He tells us that, because He said you got to be able to move with discernment to hear Him. But after hearing Him, you need that discernment to understand how to write these actions out, how to a plan. Excuse me, an action-packed plan, and actually walk it out, and actually understand that this movement that you are doing, it comes with real responsibility. It comes with real humility. And no, anybody who's been watching my videos, it ain't been easy. If you understood some of the story, I mean, and I don't want to go too deep in my life, but if you know how far you came from struggle, from setback, self-sabotaging ways, it ain't so much as what other people do to you, is what you allow, because you don't have boundaries, or you lack self-esteem, or you just lack the consciousness to understand. And it's not a bad thing, because God says, see, when you partner with Him, He said he removes the scales off your eyes so that you will understand how to be wise as that serpent, that one that's been sneaking up in your face, that one who's been talking to you, hissing in your face, and you over there playing cute with him, saying, well, I kind of want to know. I want these things. But God said when you partner with Him, He removes that. Mm. In this season, don't be scared of your harvest. You worked for it. You nurtured it. You was grooming it. And you was getting ready so that you can share it with the world or you can share it with your neighbors. And he says, as you was doing this and now you're gathering your harvest for this season, he said, don't be scared to put it out. It's yours. And it has a stamp of approval on it. I just want y'all to know in this season that God got you. And I did write down a couple of questions that I think not only I had to ask myself, but I think that it's good for me to even have you guys think about and ask yourself too. And one of the things I kept asking myself, what continuously stirs my heart to action? What is those things that continuously stir you up to want to take action? Not only for yourself, but for the people that are connected to you. Because I told you guys, as you keep pushing, as you keep moving forward, other people are connected to that activation. And what do people what do people normally come for help to you from? That is another thing. Like most times you have to ask yourself, why do people need my services? Why is it that people want to come and see me? And that is very helpful in understanding to know what you are actually surrendering your service to others in order to accomplish. And one of the things you have to kind of sometimes ask yourself right now in your Huldah season, knowing that you're powerful, knowing that people can come to you, knowing that you're just a grounded individual, ask yourself what season you're in this time. What season of your life are you in? And be honest with yourself. It's one thing to lie to the world. It's one thing to lie to the world. It's another thing to lie to yourself. You're going to have to go in that mirror, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what season am I in? And am I living or seeking that season out diligently, the way that God wants me to live it out, walk it out? Because sometimes the answer is no. And sometimes your answer could very well be true that you are. And I don't want you to get that confused in this season. And sometimes the milestones that you are faced with, they will feel lonely. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that redefinement in that fire, it's longer than we hope for. It's longer. But don't mistake that with delay or denial. Sometimes what I learn is setback is God's way of redirecting you. And sometimes when I had to face door closures, sometimes when you're going to face door closures, I want you to know that can very well be God protecting your timing when you're launching. That can very well be God saying, that's not your partner. That's not your teammate. And I want some at first glance, it might hurt, you might cry, but at the end of the day, I love the fact when you understand why those doors or something been closed, because you could rejoice just knowing that it wasn't it. That wasn't it. And what he has for you, he wanted you to understand it was just for you. And he don't want you to have someone else thinking that you couldn't make it to where you are without them. And he don't want you to be codependent thinking you couldn't get there without another person. He said, no, he wants you to know that you are whole all by yourself. He wants you to know that you are whole with him. Completion. That's what I've been understanding, that we closed out a cycle of completion. And when you're closing out this cycle of completion, he said, job well done. He said, for my servant was listening. Mm, mm. And as you listen, as you gather, and as you're doing all of the things in this world, I want you to always remember one thing. If I don't say anything else on this video, remember that the obstacles is not the ending, mm-mm, but it is your classroom. Yeah. The wilderness is not your enemy, but that gives you a chance where you can hear God's voice, where y'all can come up with a plan, a practical plan, and walk it out. Yeah. But I'm not going to hold y'all up too long. I do want you guys to know that you are in your Hilda season. You are in a season where so much chaos, so much destruction, so much of deceit is going on in this world. The same way it was in Second Chronicles as I read it. But God wants you to really understand that He heard you. He's seen, just like when Huldah had to tell the people of Judea about the book that was found in the temple, that God wasn't pleased with where the people were. God wasn't always pleased with where we are in life, is what makes this story so beautiful. You can take this same analogy and apply it to your life, where God was like, I'm about to destroy this because we're taking Him for granted. That we took our grace, our mercy, everything for granted. And He said, you know what, I gotta destroy this. But one of the things that I understood is that when He sent a prophet your way to let you know what was being said, and that you humbled yourself and that you surrendered, was the reason He said, mm, He was gonna make sure you're buried in peace. And your eyes will not see all the destruction I am going to bring on this place and on those who living here. This story, even though it was about a nation that was being rebellious, who was living in fornication, who was worshiping idols, who was giving all of their worship to idols and incense, and God said, so many of us, we were worshiping the wrong thing until we found out who He was. And He was happy that we were able to humble ourselves to hear Him, to see Him, to love on Him, to respect Him in the manner that He is. And He was like, and He gets to unfold you. And no, not your unfolding. It doesn't look like everyone else's. But He said, this is the time where grounded people shine. That's what He said. He said, you don't have to be flashy to be illuminated. You are illumination. The moment that you had got His light, you're illuminated. Anyway, y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all on here much longer. It is your girl Trisha, just checking back in with a quick message to let you know that in this season, God is speaking to us, not only in His small, still voices, but recognizing the patterns and the signs that He are sending you in the earth is going to help propel you. In this season, He is sending direct messages to you if you open your eyes and you see them and you actually take the time to decode them, to know exactly what He's doing with you. He said you will crack your code. You will understand the fruit and why He had to give it to you. Again, it's your girl Trisha, just checking back in with a quick message. I do want to let you know that we are in each one teach one season. So if you see your brother or sister crown tipping, help them fix it. You ain't got to tell them you fixing it. Just help them fix it. Until next time, y'all take it easy, love on each other. And don't forget, we got mankind. Once we done, this is it. Y'all don't forget to go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, y'all take it easy.